All right, we're live. YouTube early access. Is it YouTube early access or is it, what's this called?
Exclusive or
Exclusive. No, this is a regular YouTube early access, Patreon. I appreciate you guys. Let's hit the mat. We're talking about how to work from cross ASHI GARAMI, taking a little break from our traditional MMA techniques and working on how we can slow the rotation down. So we know when we get to cross ASHI GARAMI, typically the guy widens his legs and starts to turn around and use a rotational method to escape his knee line. So if you continue to, escape, he rotates, he pulls his leg out. That usually is what happens. You lose a knee line in the midst of him rotating. So one of the things that we do in order to maintain the integrity of the position is as I feel my training partner start to open up his legs, and because we know he wants to hide his heel in the pocket of my hip and ballerina foot, I'm gonna start to flare his knee in this direction. So look how I rotate my right elbow, in this case, from my knee line towards my rib cage. And as I do that, not only does it expose the heel, but more than anything, it slows down his rotation. Okay, so the application of this inside grip on his knee would usually serve to expose the heel, but because it's in response to him rotating, it's mainly used to prevent him from rolling. So as he widens his leg and he starts to rotate in that direction, I'm actually gonna switch my feet from my inside Senkaku position to a 50-50 position. Notice how I switch my figure four, and I lock my toes around his kidney in this area with my feet here. Okay, so what's that doing is that's slowing his rotational potential down. Now I have so much weight loaded onto his top hip, as he goes to rotate, it really isn't that fluid of a movement. So as he goes and tries to rotate, I start to turn my forehead to the mat, and I'm always gonna beat him in the rotation. Notice as I drop my right hip to the mat, I immediately expose his heel. So from this position, I end up in a perfect position. Now let's see, I'll either break him from phase two, or I can break him right when he's on all fours, what we call backside 50-50, or the guy rotates through, in this case, and I go shoulder to the mat, and I finish him from a shoulder down position, which, as I've described before to many of my students, it prevents the guy from being able to fight my hands. So if he came up and tried to reach my hands, it wouldn't be easy, okay? So again, the focus that we're primarily paying attention to is slowing his rotation down, understanding that his defense is to rotate. It's called the rotational method. What he does is he puts his thumb inside of my knee line, and he literally just corkscrews in this way and keeps spinning until he can pull his knee out. And it works a lot of the time. And at the very least, what happens, I won't demonstrate it because we'll go out of frame, but we'll end up in a scenario where Tony's turning, forehead down, butt down, forehead down, and I'm rotating with him like this, and I'm never able to get the heel. So what we do is, once again, I feel like he's starting to say, fuck it, I'm gonna run the risk of getting heel hook, but I'm quickly gonna turn and widen my leg. I have to attach my right hand, in this case, towards the inside of his knee, and I have to start to flare it as much as I can. As he commits, because he's gonna commit, he's already separated his feet, I'm gonna switch my feet from cross ASHI GARAMI inside Senkaku to a figure four around the outside of his hip. This will slow his rotation down. The good thing about this, as I've just said, it slows the rotation down, so I'll be a half second ahead of Tony. As he rotates, I'm always gonna be able to just beat him so that I can find his heel and either get the break from what I call phase two, backside 50-50, or if he continues rolling, I can finish flat back, as we call it, where I simply lean back and explode my hips up, or our favorite position to finish from, our shoulder down position, where we prevent the guy from being able to hand fight, and I get maximum leverage because I can now rotate my hips over his knee, bridge my hips, and reap the heel at the same time. So you really get maximum leverage from a shoulder down position. Let's look at that again. Make sure you guys subscribe while you're here.
Japan.
I'm gonna try to do more leg lock videos. I think people like those, but there's a lot of them out on the internet these days. There's a lot of YouTube guys who are doing leg locks. I mean, not a ton of them, but they're out there. So I wanted to do something that you guys definitely will not see. So as the guy starts to widen, what do? We have to slow down the rotation. We know his whole modus is to thumb post and rotate. So I go to the inside of the knee and I flare that knee just to slow the rotation down. Now I lean back, I cover the heel, and I switch my feet to the outside. I immediately go to a 3/4 Senkaku, not a full-on figure four. I just cross my feet. I'll always be able to out-rotate him because I have a wedge on the inside of his knee. If I didn't have that wedge, I don't know if he would definitely out-rotate me, but there's more of a chance because if he can change the angle of his knee, correct? Look how he straightens his foot. Now look, I can't find his heel. See? So it's so imperative that you guys actually do the work and keep that flared false grip. So he goes wide, he starts to turn. Look, see this? That slows him down. Now watch my left elbow. I want you to watch my left elbow. On forehead down, watch my left elbow. As I drop my right hip to the ground, I'm always going to beat Tony in the rotation because I control his knee line. So as I start to rotate, watch my elbow, how it punches through. See that? I'm always going to be able to latch on to that heel in this case. So as he starts to rotate through, I can finish him phase 3, which is flat back, very, very tight position, or a favorite position where we go shoulder down to the mat, and then we get a rotational method where we get the break from here, okay? I'm gonna be doing more leg lock videos on my Patreon, so if you check out the link, the very first comment, I tend to pin the first link. That'll have the Patreon tagged on there. And check the description, I have it in there as well. So I'm gonna do some more leg lock stuff on there, maybe one a week, where I show you kind of the system that we use to get our finishes from all these different positions. So once again, what most people teach, not named John Danaher, is they focus on cross ASHI GARAMI exclusively. So they'll go cross ASHI and they'll just do cross ASHI, right? But what we do, if you're from that lineage of learning, is we like to combine 50-50 with cross ASHI GARAMI. How the backside interacts with traditional flat back, how shoulder down positions interact with flat back. And that's how you really evolve your understanding, how you can tie those different positions together in tandem. So one last time, as Tony goes to use a thumb post rotational method of defending from cross ASHI, it's been used since 2015, people have been using this defense. I start to flare his knee open, I lean back just enough to be able to clear my heels, I get my 3/4 position. As I feel them start to roll through, I follow, and I get my bite. Now I break him in phase 2, I break him in phase 3, and then I break him one last time in phase 4 if need be, or preferably, okay? Make sure you guys subscribe if you enjoy the content. Check out the Patreon once again. Check out my website, StephenWilliamsOfficial.com. I have some exclusive gear you might want to check out. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. So once again, the concept is combining your cross ASHI GARAMI attacks with your 50-50. Remember that they work in tandem, but it's how you put them together and understanding when to use it. Like, subscribe. If I'm in cross ASHI GARAMI, understanding when to use this position is crucial, right? If I just unlock my legs now, and when he wasn't, let's say he's not rotating. He's gonna roll in this direction. Why in the world would I go for 50-50 here? It wouldn't make sense, right? I would just stay in cross ASHI, he goes to his knees, and I'd finish him from shoelace ASHI GARAMI from the back. Okay, so it's understanding the application of why we use these different positions and when to use them. When and why. So, he's going in this direction. We understand that switching in this case gives me the ability to slow his rotation down. So I can now beat him maybe 1/4 second. So as he rotates, I get the bite and I get the break. Understand that. There's a time and place for all of these different positions, and that's what you want to focus on. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care. That's all I got. Take care. Sure. Yeah.